My podcast. This is David Steinman. I'm the author of Raising Healthy Kids, Protecting Your Children from Hidden Chemical Toxins. You can get it at Amazon.com. And today I want to talk about a few things. Number one, what's really been on my mind is I think it's time for Grandpa to go. I was listening to Trump speaking to reporters today. He was almost out of breath. There's something really seriously, we all know this, wrong with him. There's been something seriously wrong with him mentally since he was born. And it's just worsening as he descends into dementia and senility, laziness. He's bad for this country. So I don't want him to be involved in the war with Ukraine on Ukraine's side. I want him to go to Russia's side because he will screw Russia. I would never want Trump on my team. Zelensky is doing so much better with Trump out of the picture. Couldn't count on him anyway. It's just better to get that distraction out of the way. So what's going on in Ukraine is actually really important, and I wish the president would talk about it. Slowly, Ukraine is gaining back territory, and all the news reports on Crimea indicate that petro is just gone. People can't get petroleum. Supplies are limited, and public officials are urging Russian sympathizers to leave. Now, if you cross on the bridge, you will notice that there are bomb sites all around the bridge at the beginning and the end of it, which is to show that Ukraine can bomb the bridge if it wants. Right now, it's being very select and leaving the bridge alone, I think because it wants people to leave. And also, we'll see what happens to the bridge when Ukraine regains the Crimea. For those of you who don't get it, Ukraine is not a perfect democracy by any means. There's a ton of corruption like there isn't here in America there, but they are fighting our war against fascism, against Russian aggression. And don't believe for a minute that this is because NATO is strong. NATO is strong, but that's not going to cause Russia to strike at NATO. If Russia does strike at a NATO country, one of the Baltic states, for example, NATO will defend that country. And NATO is so much stronger than Russia. It's very weak now because they can't supply enough bodies for the carnage that's going on in Ukraine. And because of that, Russia may get desperate and they may strike a NATO country. But that's not because NATO is strong. It's because Putin will be desperate. If he does something like that, he may even be deposed, pushed out. So keep an eye on what's going on in Ukraine. Zelensky, to my mind, look, I don't know these people personally. I know it from the news. That's where I get my stuff too. But to me, Zelensky is like the new Churchill. I find him very inspiring. I just hope he doesn't blow it. So keep your eye on Ukraine. Things are happening there. Let's see if Ukraine regains Crimea, and let's see how Russian troops hold up on the other fronts. Right now, Ukraine, as I said, is gaining territory. But while all this is happening, we have a president who is asleep at the wheel. Thank God, as I said, he's not involved with Ukraine. We don't want him on the Ukraine side. We want him on the Russian side. And we wish he were on the Iran side, frankly. We would have done much better if he were the Ayatollah, and the Ayatollah were over here. Frankly, he's that bad. But while this is going on in Ukraine, and while we're preoccupied with the Middle East, there are things we have to do here in this country in terms of healing between the people, because the politicians are screwing us up. They're effing us up. Okay? They really are. There's a lot of uneducated people in America who might think of people who care about other people and they ridicule them, but they're not really seeing other people. They're seeing an image and playing on a team. A lot of MAGA people could never bring themselves to support a Democrat. They just couldn't do it. It would be like all of a sudden telling your family you're trans or gay, I guess, or something like that. I'm just saying, they can't do it. So we have to run candidates who can speak to them and help them make the move without feeling too bad. It's going to have to be a candidate probably who comes from the heartland. I've been talking about Ossoff in Georgia, Bashir in Kentucky, Shapiro in Pennsylvania. Do not think Pritzker in Illinois or Newsom in California are the right candidates, because the Dems are already going to win Illinois and California states. Those are not swing states. The other candidates are in swing states or purple states. And they have to start inspiring Americans again. As I said, Grandpa's been so asleep. There's a lot of healing that needs to be done. Like, what is wrong with caring about health and the environment and our children? Maybe we don't agree completely on vaccinations. I don't agree with a lot of the positions I see being spouted every day on vaccination. I got my kids vaccinated. I researched it. I got ones without thimerosal for them. And I've gotten the COVID vaccination, and I'm glad I did. I suffered no ill effects, nor did my kids when they got it. So I don't buy this all or nothing thing about vaccines. They're all bad or they're all good. I believe in nuance. It's very important, but it's also very difficult. But if we start talking that way, maybe we can educate folks that We don't have to agree on vaccines to agree on other major things like healthy foods for our kids, supporting local farms, getting off so much plastic and petrochemicals, caring about the environment in communities like Hoosick Falls, Cancer Alley, Louisiana, all over the country where industries preys on vulnerable communities. These are the things we should be caring about, whether we're MAGA, Republican, or Democrat, because they're beyond politics. We keep saying that, those of us in the anti-toxic movement. These things are beyond politics. So while Grandpa is asleep or politicizing and polarizing America, the rest of us have to get together and put forward candidates who are going to be environmental. Now, I know some environmental Republicans who I disagree with on most issues, but if I can agree with them on a few issues, that's better than the worst of the MAGA people. So while Grandpa is asleep, we need to take care of our American future. That means taking care of our kids. It also means we need to start educating our kids. Here are two areas that I think are really important. They should learn about hidden chemical toxins. You can get my book, Raising Healthy Kids, Protecting Your Children from Hidden Chemical Toxins, and how to be conscientious consumers and shoppers. Because when we shop smart, we make change. It was shopping smart that brought organic strawberry and lettuce fields to Salinas, California that are nearby the schools I've talked about. It's shopping smart is going to stop the Formosa plant proposed for St. James Parish, Louisiana, because we're not going to be buying so much crappy plastic single-use stuff like straws or artificial turf. We're going to get back to our senses and say, we want to touch real. We want real. We don't want all this social media fake. It's amusing, but it's not. It's like diet sweeteners. It doesn't feed you really. It's not fuel for the soul. So we need to educate about hidden chemical toxins so children learn early on, whether you're Republican or Democrat, MAGA or this, that these are beyond politics. It's about your health, our country's future, because we need smart kids in order to run a democracy. You have to face facts, you have to deal with agree on the facts, and then what your policy will be. And we don't need nihilists. MAGAs become very nihilistic. They just hate government. And government has lots of improvement, but I don't know. Me, when I talk to people working for the federal government or the state government, most of them are very helpful and they're trying really hard. And I like that. And I need them to help me. So I'm grateful for that. I don't think you should try to throw out the whole government and be a nihilist. But when you're not educated or when you're taking away IQ points from kids because of hidden chemical toxins that they're exposed to during pregnancy or early childhood or in their teenage years, and even adults suffer dementia, which is accelerated from chemical exposures. You get more nihilism. You get people who can't deal with facts. So what I'm talking about is a neurobiological approach to democracy where we start with our kids, taking care of them. We also educate them, as I said, about hidden chemical toxins, but we also need to get back to civics and music and things that are greater than just money, okay? We also need to teach kids how to handle money. That's really important too. All of this while the president is asleep or canceling press conferences. When he was there today in DC, he was huffing and puffing. He was very out of breath. He doesn't seem like he's gonna make it through this term. He seems like he has really high blood pressure and a really weak heart. And that's going to affect his cerebral circulation and therefore his mental functioning. We're missing out. He's not doing anything to take care of the people's health. All he's doing is unleashing more chemicals into the environment for the most part. So I'm just going to leave you with these thoughts. Grandpa needs to go back to the home. I'm not being ageist. Mick Jagger's in his 80s, Paul McCartney is in his 80s, and they're doing great things, but they're staying in the pocket. They know what they can do. They're doing it. Their minds are all there. They didn't eat Big Macs all their lives. And so rock and roll, it'll save your life. No, seriously, it's not ageist what I'm saying. Grandpa just needs to go back. He needs to go back home. He's missing too much. The world is scheming, and he's being left behind. Putin, Xi, they're just totally making America look weak and taking advantage. And why shouldn't they? We have such a sleepy Joe. Did I say sleepy Joe? A sleepy Don at the helm. Okay, listen, you have a great day. I want to talk to you some more later. I'll talk to you then. This is David Steinman. My podcast is Official David Steinman on YouTube, and my newsletter is David William Steinman on Substack and Medium. My book is Raising Healthy Kids, Protecting Your Children from Hidden Chemicals.